Hello everyone, hopefully we're live. Are we live? Yes, we are live. My name's Cameron Lee, I'm producer on Dragon Age Inquisition, and this is Mike Laidlaw, the creative director.
Hi guys, how you doing?
So today we're going to be showing a bit of the game. We've got Connell back here as well. He's going to be helping us coordinate some of the questions, etc. So if you ever wondered how many Bioware devs it takes to run a Twitch stream, apparently it's 3.
And that's not even counting setup.
That's right, that's
It's
just the people
crazy.
in my office.
Yeah.
So this is my office. Welcome to my office.
You're going to get an amazing shot of Cameron's office and Cameron.
Yes.
Any moment now.
Yes, exactly. So
Maybe now. Now, in fact.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay. So today we're going to show some character creator stuff. I'm going to start with one particular character, show you guys what that's like to create your Inquisitor, and then I think what we'll do is we'll get some questions and some comments about what other character we might want to make, what other race, and then we'll go from there. And then we're going to show something new, some new areas of the game which we haven't shown before. Today we are playing on a PC with a 360 controller because that's what's in my office. So
That's what's hooked up, yeah.
Exactly.
One thing to note, we know you guys are really dying to see some more PC controls in action. One of the big things we've tried to make sure is that in terms of gameplay, there's parity between them. So
Yeah.
you know when you're fighting, when you're using your abilities, they basically play the same. Of course, there is a custom UI and a custom interface scheme when you're using mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
But for those of you who have a controller at home for your PC, you want those sweet graphical optimizations. You can absolutely do that as well.
Yeah, definitely. And we're going to be showing a lot more PC stuff and talking about it a lot more in probably the next week or two. So
yeah,
stay tuned for that. Next week, I think it is.
Just some final touches going
Yep.
on it. And yeah, it's
Yep.
pretty exciting.
Yeah. Okay, should we get started?
I'd like to.
Okay, let's do it. Press start. Okay. So our character creator is part of our new game process. And I'm going to be drinking my cold coffee because it's Monday morning. So.
It's how Cameron stays active.
This is my second coffee, and it's like, anyway.
Yeah.
So here is the race selection and appearance selection. So you can see there's Canarian, Dwarf, Elf, Human, and then obviously flipping it over to male. And we've got obviously Dwarves and everything there. So I'm just going to mess around with a particular...
Oh, actually, can we go back just one?
Sure.
One I want to point out. So when you hit character creation, it says Rogue, Dual Wield, Rogue, Archer. And, you know, it says at the bottom, but of course it's the fine print, so some people miss it. Well, wait, does that lock me in? Do I have to play two-handed?
It definitely doesn't.
You don't.
No.
You don't. It basically determines your starting talents, your starting weaponry and stuff. Yeah. That said, you can even respec mid-game. If you're like, no, you know what, I'm really tired of dual wielding, I want to go to archery,
Totally.
or you want to do a hybrid, you can do that as well. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I mean, the pictures, you know, of the sort of weapon and shield or the two-handed warrior, you know, there's an axe there. Again, you could be using maces, you could be using swords.
Yeah.
It's whatever equipment you happen to get in the game. So, okay. So then difficulty. I love the nightmare description.
It's just swords and you're holding your own head.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've been balancing it out so that hard in particular is a pretty sincere challenge.
Yeah.
I've been working directly with the combat team to push that up.
Yeah.
In part because I think, you know, there's those of you that like played Origins on Nightmare and that kind of stuff. You want your hard experiences really hard. Normal's a little more accessible. Certainly still requires some thinking.
It does. You know, I'm probably going to be playing some normal stuff, normal difficulty in the gameplay today, and you can see as you go through this particular area the attrition that takes place. You know, as you get into more combat, you know, your health goes down, and then you know you either need to drink potions or you need to be able to back out and go back to resupply those potions.
We skipped through it a little fast. We'll take a look next time around at the just a little quick glimpse at the keep import stuff. I know some people had some questions about that. We'll take a glance. You can see it's integrated as part of the care gen flow.
Yeah, we should definitely talk about the keep, you know, because that's how you bring in your decisions from the previous Dragon Age games.
Actually, we just had another wave of invites go out, so that's pretty nice. We're seeing a lot more feedback coming in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't you have like 5,000 codes?
Everyone
spam Mike for codes.
I don't anymore.
Come on.
Actually, I don't. I had to give them all away by asking really obscure trivia questions.
Yeah. Okay, so here we are. We're in our appearance customization. So there's default heads that we start you with that you can then customize.
I love punchy prize fighter.
Yeah, this guy.
This guy's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's lost. Well, he's won more fights than he's lost. I think is what that face says.
Yeah. All right, so now I'm customizing this particular character. You can see there's a whole bunch of different categories here. If we go into general, initially there's some sliders. We have a really cool system to give you a lot more control, but some of these general settings, change the face structure.
Yeah, these are just your top level.
Exactly.
Start from here, and then you get a lot more fine tuned.
That's right. So skin tones, you know, all the way from really pale Canadian, not having sun.
What? Yeah.
Come on, I'm Australian and I've never been this pale in my entire life.
Haven't seen the sun in many months.
That's right. I think one of the first things he said when I moved here was the wolf god will swallow.
Yeah. The sky wolf. Yeah, will eat the sun.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, we want someone kind of tanned. So complexion, you know, these are a pretty cool. Wow, he's really old and decrepit looking.
Oh, wow, that pretty much looks like us at the end of a project, man.
It does.
Yeah.
So you can see there's like freckles and things like that in there as well. As you sort of flip through those, we go with that one.
Sure.
Okay. So eye color here again. This is the basics of the eye color. We can change that in a really cool slider later on. Hair. There's a whole bunch of different styles in here.
The tussled, the undercut,
the
He-Man, and the Joan Jett.
Yeah. The it reminds me of that guy from God, I can't remember the name of the show. Anyway,
that's fine.
Yeah, I like that guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
The big thing was we wanted to give a bunch of different hairstyle options for people. Like, you know, if you want to have long, you want to have short, we want to give a bunch of those. Of course, hair color is always important, and it will transition down to your facial colors as well.
I'm going grayer the longer this project runs, so that's going to be me by the end of it.
Yeah.
All right, let's go with dark brown.
Ooh. A chestnut.
Chestnut.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This guy's really pushing all the edges.
Oh, totally. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Dark brown hair. Oof.
We've got some little beard styles here as we go through. So, you know, I don't know what you'll describe that as.
Isn't that technically a Van Dyke where it doesn't connect, or is it connected?
You're the beard expert.
I just have a beard. That doesn't make me an expert.
All right. I'm gonna go again. You know, let's 5 o'clock shadow.
No, good. Oh, no.
Something different?
You just too generic. You got to get yes. Now we're talking.
All right. Okay.
Stash of doom.
So voices. Each gender has, or each appearance has a selection of 2 different voices.
So they come essentially pre-map based on race. So if you don't touch the slider, and you know, if you're at the top level, like Cameron was scrolling through that list, if you just say, yeah, that one's awesome, I'm going for that, you'll get the voice that matches your race. So an American kind of flatter accent is going to match, and you guys can hear them here, is going to match the voice of a canary or a dwarf, and then the British accent is going to match a human and an elf.
Yeah. So here is where most of our customization comes in place. We've got this really cool sort of like, I don't know what you call it, like some sort of multi-point thing.
Yeah, a pan-dimensional target.
Yeah.
Pan-dimensional.
Tyler is probably in his office right now.
What are you doing? It's a 2-dimensional slider on a grid. God. Anyway.
So big ears, little ears, you know, like you can really sort of customize that. Okay.
If you had hair, it would move around the hair.
Yeah. And then, you know, you can move the ears around the head, you know, with this kind of slider. So it's all really cool. The character artist is probably also looking at us right now going, what have you done? So earlobe size, I love this one. It's like, how big do you want your earlobes? How big are your earlobes?
About that big?
Better.
Yeah, they're kind of earlobe sized.
Okay, yeah.
That's how I think of them.
Yeah.
The right size?
The correct size.
That's right. Everyone else has got these weird ears. Mine, pretty much normal.
Do we want big cheekbones?
I don't know. This is your creation.
Okay, except for the beard.
Yeah, okay, yeah. It's my mustache on your creation.
Yeah. So you can see, you know, how the skin texture is just running over whatever changes of the skull that we're making there. So brow size as well, you know. So it's all pretty.
I think we gotta get into some color stuff though. That's where it really shines.
All right. Well, let's do it in the eyes. So
there we go.
You start off with, like, again, just general sort of eye shapes. We can then modify. So if we scroll down here, we can do, say, the outer iris color, and then separately the inner iris color as well. So you can see if we want to go. What color do you want to go, Mike?
I think we need, let's go some green.
Some green?
Some green.
Okay,
yeah.
So once we pick the general kind of green color on here, then using the other stick, I can sort of really fine tune the particular color. So we'll
saturation.
Yeah. So we'll go really bright green on the outer irises, and then on the inner irises, we can do like a, I don't know. You see, I mean, if you go like full green, it's like, you know, mega green.
Yeah.
And that's just really that slight part around the inner iris, which is really cool. That you can have that much customization. Again, default sort of nose shapes you can look at here, and just sort of flip between them, and then you can customize that. You know, so what are we doing there? Like the width of the nose, You can see the beard sort of modifies as well.
Yeah.
Nose position on the face, take it all the way down, all the way up, and then I should do it on that side, I guess. Zoom out a little bit.
Yeah, it's true. You can zoom in and out if you want to get really
Yeah.
close. It's not not on a per slider basis.
Do we want this guy to have a big nose?
Again, follow your muse. Just
All
chase that dream, buddy.
All right. Okay. So then we're looking at the bridge size. So, you know, right now it's sort of up the top. You know, I scroll down and you can start to see it sort of modifying the two sort of parts of the nose.
Yeah.
And then
We gotta hit broken nose before we're done, though.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
That's one of my faves. It's actually, it's like, I think, you know, when you think about characters, people tend to think of them as being, oh no, this character's just going to be perfect. And that, sure, you can chase that down. But sometimes, like, you know, it's a rough and tumble world. Your character's probably been a lot of fighting.
Yeah.
It's been a chaotic time. So you come out of that and you're like, you know, no, my nose needs a crook. So,
absolutely. It depends, like, it's whatever your fantasy is, right? I mean, being able to create your own Inquisitor. And then play it in the game, and then make your own decisions and action. You know, this flows through everything in the game. You know, customization, crafting, the decisions that you make, the impacts of that, how you customize Skyhold. You know, your race, gender, you know, voice. You know, we want your character to be your character, rather than a fixed one that we force upon you.
Yeah, the voicing was really fun. I remember when we were discussing that. Because actually, so we added voice as part of the addition of races when we moved a year and said we want to go further with this. We said, okay, so what should we do? There you go, get that big swollen.
And I love how you can sort of take it from side to side as well.
A deviated septum.
Yes,
I think that's what that's called.
It looks really good on a dwarf.
I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV. Yeah, because dwarves tend to have your big florid nose. Well, they don't have to, but
I love that.
Little teeth.
Kind of looks like Freddie Mercury.
Oh wow, yeah. Here we are.
So this, having a beard is not so good to show off the lips, but anyway, we can sort of show it off. So you can, you know, I'm going to go back out, I'm going to take off our beard for a sec. So where was that again? General.
It's in general,
yeah. Okay. Where were we? Mouth and jaw. Okay. So you can see the mouth width is changing, the upper part of the mouth as well. And mouth position, you know, you can take that all sorts of weird and wonderful
little pursed,
yeah.
He's posing for his selfie now, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
Getting the duck lips.
You want full lips?
Dude, again.
Man, you're not helping me. You're supposed to be creative.
I'm giving you the opportunity to fulfill your fantasy, which apparently is a scruffy guy with green eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's our jaw size going on. See the skin moving over that jaw there. Chin size. Zoom out a little bit. Double chin. I love this one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe just had a little too much Orleans cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe had.
Well, he's been finding all the cheese wheels in the game. It's just been like,
this cheese crushing dead bodies is delicious.
So Adam's apple size as well. And you can do that for male and female, which is cool.
Yeah.
So why not?
So some people are wondering if there are replication codes generated from this so that you can share your character with your friends for them to use.
So replication codes is something we're looking at. It may be post-launch. It's still an investigation right now. Our hope is to try and integrate it with the Keep somehow, so it's fairly easy to do. But we don't have specific plans in place right now. But that's we're aware it's a very popular feature. At this point, it's getting it to the right venue for sharing them. Because there are obviously a ton of different sliders and data and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's where we're looking at right now. But yeah, we're aware. That one's definitely on the hit list. It may be something we add in post-release even.
Yeah. You're going to make the scar up? Why not?
Scars?
So we're moving the scar across the face now. We can do it in a horizontal as well as a vertical position.
Yeah. Pick it up. Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, man, he's lucky that bear didn't get his eye.
Tattoos. We love tattoos. Now I've got to change the colour for this. So got full control over the colour of the tattoos. Whatever you want to do there.
I can't.
Make it dark
You
blue.
don't have any tattoos.
No, I know. I'm getting there.
Oh, I see. You want to start at blue?
Yeah.
You don't want to be sullied by black?
Exactly. So there's some sort of tattoo.
So the designs themselves come in different patterns and then as well different intensities. So you can pull it down as if you want it to look a little faded, bring it in nice and bright. And as you cycle through them, as well, the tattoos differ by race.
Yes,
Yeah,
the
they show
dwarf ones are
different
really
set,
like full on your face. Yeah,
Well, yeah, and you want the brand if you want to say, oh no, he was castless or something like that. You can use the tattoos to kind of tell a little bit of your story.
Yeah. Kind of like this one back here. There we go. Okay, makeup. So eyeshadow color. Now I'm really not good with makeup.
It's not your forte.
It's not my forte.
Yeah.
I did a video that we shot at Edmonton Comic Con yesterday actually, and I am horrendous at this.
Oh, was that like the lime green David Bowie looking elf?
I didn't even need to
that
make.
was-
I was just messing around.
Oh, here we go. Case in point.
So, never ever trust me with your makeup, Mike. I know that this is something that you.
I gotta change my afternoon plans.
You really do.
Yeah, you know that meeting I booked? Yeah, it's canceled.
Okay.
Yeah. So actually, one of our producers who's worked with the art team for the entirety of the project, actually, Colleen, has gone through and basically done a lot of the NPC heads. She's customized them herself.
Yeah.
And it's been fun watching her deftness with the makeup system improve.
Yeah.
We've had a couple characters where they're very prominent, so you see them change as she checks in new versions, and she'll keep tweaking them.
Yeah.
And the makeup has gotten more and more subtle and a lot more natural. As she's
That's
like,
cool.
oh, wait, I
Yeah.
figured out how to do this particular type of eyeliner mixed with blush, with, and it's really cool because the system's been evolving over time too. Oh, you are.
I'm so bad.
Wow. Yeah.
So put a bit of blush on this guy, but it's cool because the blush could be black, all these different colors, which is really neat.
People are wondering if there's full body tattoos and if you can add beauty marks or moles or freckles.
So full body tattoos, no, because the majority of the time you're in armor. So we decided to really focus on making the face the highly customizable part. In terms of beauty marks, the scar system, I don't think it actually has any beauty marks in it.
I haven't seen it.
Check. I don't think we do have those.
Yeah.
That is a good suggestion. And probably something we should look at.
I love how you can change even the lip shine.
How glossy it is.
Yeah.
This is the mid Vaseline application. What? Well, this may not be showing our art in the best light. Yeah. Now here's the best part: you can back out and reset and lose all those changes, so that your poor guy doesn't look like he went headfirst into a cosmetics factory.
Exactly. Well, how about we do that? How about we go back to the main menu?
We did say,
and then we can do another character. Okay. All right. So, what race do you guys want us to do next? So. We just did a human, so pick between an elf, dwarf, and a canary.
Yeah.
And we'll probably do a female, I think.
We've heard a lot for canary, especially the horns.
All right.
Horns, all right.
Mind if I do this one?
Sure.
Mix it up? Maybe not. That makeup was applied?
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah.
There's a fun little thing. The race you get, or the gender you get at the start of the game is randomized.
Yes.
So it's like just, I don't know, you're going to get a set of cards.
Mm-hmm.
It is the bumpers to switch them. Let's see, doesn't matter for Karajan. We'll go Canary Mage.
Yeah, I like Mage.
There we go. Ooh, a Talvashov. And then again, to talk about it. So when you're playing here, right now we're not logged in to the Origin servers. No. We don't have our account set up. So we're getting only the option of the default world state.
Yes.
How it works if you are signed in on the Dragon Age Keep and you've used it, the beta people are probably familiar, is you can promote one world state to basically be your primary.
Yes.
And just say, this is the one I want exported. How that works, just so we're clear on it while we're doing CareGen, is that at this moment, it will connect to the keep, it will grab that world state, and essentially embed all that data into your save game.
Yeah.
You can do that multiple times, you can start multiple games, and then you can go and change it and start another game.
That's right.
And get an updated version for that. So the nice thing is, because it's kind of a one-event thing, you don't need to be online the whole time, can connect to the keep, and so on. That said, when you set up to your world state, it will be able to push data back.
Yeah,
as
and
well.
when we talk about world states, for those of you who don't know, that's basically save game information.
Like who's king of Ferelden?
Exactly, that's right.
Yeah.
So if you played Origins or you played DR2 or both, you can go back in and you can set up this world state, which is basically you defining all those decisions and actions that you've taken in the previous games.
Yeah.
And then that's what you bring in. So.
Yeah, and the Keep's a free web-based system.
Yep.
In fact, if you look at the archives here on the BioWare channel, you can see Fernando and Leah and co going through that in detail, so you can sort of see how it works.
Yep.
It's kind of a living tapestry of history.
That's right, and it'll be live before the game ships, so
Yep.
you have plenty of time to get in there and mess around with it.
Get it set up and everything, right?
Yeah, I've got to do that myself, actually.
I got mine set up.
Now, after your character is set, are you able to revisit the character generator later in the game?
Not currently. Not currently. That's something, again, we're
Face
looking
melter.
at potentially later. Yeah, we jokingly call that the face melter.
Yeah.
It's something that may happen post-release. We may patch it in or something like that. But
Yeah.
for right now, the nice thing is we're trying very hard. We got our lighting guys to make sure that this is a close approximation to kind of a neutral lighting state for the game.
Yes.
Because that's something we've gotten a lot of feedback on is, oh, wow, I look totally different here than when I
Yeah,
did in the game.
and I've had that problems in all sorts of games. We definitely don't want to do
Yeah,
that.
and one of the nice advantages of the opening of the game, which we're not going to spoil today,
No.
is that you do have a variety of lighting conditions right off the bat. So if you
Yeah.
don't like it, it's very easy to restart.
Yeah.
Not ideal. I'd rather do a face melter, but we'll look at that
We'll
as
get
a
it.
potential future option.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go with the hawk. Now, this one's
Horns.
always a popular question. Can I have a canary without horns?
Yes.
Sten style? Absolutely, you
Yes.
can. And
You
we'll
can have
take a look at
hornless
that in
and
some detail.
like little stubs
Yep,
as well,
in fact-
and full horn. So let's jump in there. And take a
Let's
look.
do that because everybody wants to know about the hair. So we'll start here. Now, this slider says horns, but it's actually a combination
Yeah.
of horns and hair. Most of these styles are available with the different horn patterns. Here you have sort of a I sawed it off kind of Talvashoth look.
Yeah. I love
here's
that one with
that's
all the
kind
intricate
of
sort of
yeah, it's
patterns
been
on the metal,
inlaid
yeah.
and then apparently the tip's been broken off. Again, kind of a nice layered look, some studding. I guess if you want to win at a headbutting competition,
Well, yeah.
forward curls.
There was still, remember that guy down at PAX a couple of years ago? Someone was like, "Did the canary have like a headbutt special ability?" And I was like, "What? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that should be great."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can make a warrior in charge. That
That's
sure
true,
feels.
yeah.
That sure feels pretty. Here we go. Now we're into the
Yeah.
asymmetrical breaks. That's
Yeah,
the.
that's really cool.
I fell off the back of a hay wagon.
Yeah.
Here's the. I fell off the back of the hay wagon the other way with a new hairstyle.
Backwards.
Symmetrical. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know she had to pull herself out of that.
Yeah.
And this is more into the spaces, the Cerebos or the some of the Talvashoth Raiders in DA2,
Yeah.
where they quite deliberately sawn off their horns.
Yeah.
And then we get into the hornless variations as well. So you have a variety of different shapes and styles
Yeah.
and metals.
Cool.
So I know that one was a pretty popular ask.
I've actually on Twitter last night I was seeing a lot of people asking about the skin tone of the canary.
Sure. Okay.
So
Well, then
double
let's
check
dig in
that.
on that. So the Canary, they definitely a very different skin tone set
Yeah.
than we have. You run to a fairly pale kind of gray
Very
there.
grey, yeah.
Yeah. Pull through the different grays,
A
and
bit
then
of
you
grey in
head
there
more
as
into
well.
the bronzy territory,
Yeah.
closer to what Sten's color was, with
Yeah.
that slight green tinge. A little bit more pink, and then all the way down into kind of this dark bronze, and then right there for almost this like jet black look.
Yeah.
Which can be really striking. if
Yeah,
you-
give them red eyes.
Yeah, you go into like, the more traditional Canary
Like
kind of white hair or blondes.
Like a horn drow.
Yeah, a lot of people are, kind of. A lot of people are very curious about hair color. We bandied about whether we'd restrict to white or something like that, and we decided no, it needs some variations, but obviously not the full range that the humans have,
Yeah.
or the elves.
Do you want to do female voice?
Yeah, absolutely. So our two voice actors, you've probably seen Connell get spit on various times by one of them.
So good.
But of course, for the American voice, which would be the one you heard first, Sumali Montano, is, Somali, sorry, I said it slightly wrong there, is voicing him. So again, your two choices, able to switch between some nice sample lines, get a sense of the lip sync in motion as well.
Yeah.
All right, come out of here.
Now, are
Now
we
beyond
able to
that,
adjust the body type at all? We have a number of questions about that.
oh, body type. So people keep asking about body type, and yeah, totally fair question. We had to make a choice between kind of racial variation on the body types or slider variation on the body types in terms of how we decided to build it. The takeaway for us was that having all the races and the genders be different
Yes.
heights and different sizes
Yeah.
was more valuable than having like a slider-based kind
That's
of body
right.
shape.
Yeah. And that, I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
we've got a lot of data in the character creator, so we'll let us double down.
Absolutely, yeah. So a female canary, for instance, just
Yeah.
towers over even a human male.
Yeah.
There are few conversations quite as stark as a female dwarf talking to a male canary, because
Yes.
that's just that their necks are all
Yeah.
craned. And
Yes.
of course, that was pretty challenging because we had to build specific systems to make them properly meet up and to head look
Yeah.
over the course of all dialogues. So makeups share the same basic shape and style over the course of the two, but as noted, we also have the... Oh, there's scars. thickness, chin shape. So again, female characters, as Cam noted, do have Adam's apples as available. And as we go through the Canary, a lot of people tend to forget they do have pointed ears as well. So we can have them. Nice thing, of course, is that with the more outwardly focused ears, like on elves and stuff, you can put that level of bend onto them and get that kind of thing. Elves, of course, are a little bit larger, so you can really see that stand out on the character. Now, one question that would pop up here is, where's tattoos for Canary? Right? Obviously, that's the biggie.
Where are tattoos?
Well, Canary are a little bit different from every other race. They kind of got their own set of equipment when it comes to headgear. So rather than giving you like kind of these permanent tattoos for them, instead they wear something called Vitar. And Vitar is essentially this highly toxic to anybody but Canary material, and it's applied like a war paint almost. You can hide it with hide helmet if you don't want to see it, but it looks really rad. You get different combinations and patterns, and they all have different effects.
So you're saying that pattern will change depending on the headgear?
Absolutely. So you equip it just like it's a helmet. So instead of helmets, all Canary wear Vitar, and everyone else gets their range of helmets. So it gives Canary kind of something kind of special. We wanted to do that because, well, they're new, they're cool, they're exciting. So
if people want to see some scars on them.
Yeah, absolutely, we can do that.
And they also want to know if the horns, if you can make them bigger or smaller.
Horn size is not slider based, but it is as you change the horn patterns.
Yes,
they move across. All right, so let's go one of the more intense scar patterns here. That one. And then we can
do the intensity. So that will dull it down.
Yeah, you dull it down, pull it back up, and then of course motion comes around. If you want to get to the edge of the lip, look like she has survived a battle axe to the side of the face.
And when the throat like that.
Oh yeah, pull it
so
down.
Close to the jugular.
Yeah, pull her up here as well, up into the eye territory.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and of course you can see the light response coming off of that scar is absolutely different from the regular skin.
Yep.
Are we able to see different types of lighting in the character creator so we can see what Cameron's glam makeup looks like?
We've actually, so the lighting in here is a custom stage lighting that we built. We don't have it cycling through different ones, but what we did is built this one to be essentially the same lighting that is used for most cinematics.
Yeah.
Because unlike our previous games where the lighting was entirely the level, we've actually done a pass through all the major cinematics in the game and done a cinematic lighting pass. So it's the equivalent of like the gaffer coming in and lining stuff up, getting the right color. So this is a close approximation. Obviously, there's going to be some difference because you won't have a green background. And
That's
so
right.
on.
Yeah.
But other than that, this is about as close as you'll get.
Yep.
Yeah. Take one more look at horns. Oh, yeah, and you wanted to do some red eyes, right, on there?
Yeah, let's do that.
There's some nice brilliant blue. Icy. There you go. Into the
so they're just the
greens.
default ones.
Yeah, huge range on there.
Let's
and
jump
then
down eyes.
If we want to go, let's make them a little bigger.
Yeah.
There we go, so we can see them.
I love how you can rotate the eyes, change the style.
Yeah.
There's unibrow eyebrows. I love those.
There we go. So there's a nice kind of good example of the different colors in between.
Yeah.
The inner iris, of course, will change. We can go into
I love when you do it white,
or
so it's like a red around the outside and a white in the middle.
If we get more into like a Sten territory where you have kind of this rich violet with a little bit of red on the outside, that starts to look a little more into that territory. So again, all characters can have this. It maybe a little fantastical for humans, but hey, it's your character.
Yeah.
Maybe you were hit by a random spell. It's a chaotic time.
It is.
Absolutely.
Are there any post-game character customization unlocks?
As in, do we unlock more stuff when you beat the game?
Get more stuff.
No, we want to give you everything right up front. Obviously, when you beat the game, you can come back and try a different race, but it's all available right from the get-go. It seemed kind of a strange place to lock it behind.
And do you know how many options there are?
So I think it was something like, I need to double check. Aaron's probably going to slap me, but I think it was 62 variables. And then in terms of like what each of these categories are here, but then in terms of combinations, like it's billions. Like even just in colors.
Yeah, there's this spectrum right here is enormous.
What is that? Like how many is that? And then with the multi-point on each of the sort of the cheekbones and the eyes and the ears and stuff like that.
And hey, while we're at it, eyelash style. We didn't show this earlier.
No, I didn't show that one.
You want big, thick fan, full, little. Maybe it's Maybelline. Maybe she's born with it. These are all pop. What? I grew up in the '80s. I'm allowed to say things like that. Get off my lawn, Cameron. Yes,
does
there we go.
The character creator affect your in-game picture for your character?
No, the picture is the iconized mark on the hand.
That's right.
Yeah. The portrait is determined by that, basically because we've gone with the stylized look. Yeah, I know. Some people are going to be like, but the derp face portraits, those are very popular in Origins.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the followers kind of have derp. Some of them are a little bit dirty.
Yeah, but because we're using the icons to indicate when a character is wounded,
that's right.
in a particular shape, we decided to use the Inquisitor as a more kind of generic style, so that when that hand goes red, even if you're not controlling your Inquisitor directly, you immediately get at a glance can go, oh, geez, the Inquisitor's in rough shape, and so on.
Okay.
All right, shall we go to some gameplay?
Yeah, let's jump in.
Let's back out here. Cameron,
So.
back to you.
All right. So this area is it's a bit of the deep roads, I guess, sort of some dwarven.
Yeah, so the
area.
For those of you who may not be familiar with the Deep Roads, lore time. The Dwarven Empire once stretched across the entirety of the underworld. They had they had these huge highways, massive kind of cities underground called Tigers, and of course the Darkspawn, who are kind of what the ever-present threat, started breeding in the Deep Roads, spreading and pushing the dwarves back and back and back to the point where the Dwarven Empire has only a single city left.
That's right. Now this particular area is kind of connected to something that we'd shown at E3. Do you want to talk about that?
It is. I think it's really cool. So when we started E3, you guys may remember me narrating the walkthrough and everything. We started in that awesome cave with the waterfall coming down. What we didn't do was look behind. And behind us there was a door, which leads into here. So
and nugs always hang out there as well.
There's always a nug there just going, unless the mercenary assassins are in the midst of killing it.
Yes.
Which can happen at times. But yeah, this is a nice, think of it as E3, the alternate path.
That's right, yeah.
So this area would have been a dwarven area where they built up to the surface and then kind of sealed it back off. Obviously, it's fallen into some disrepair. Some of the cavern has collapsed because the dwarves have had to abandon it. And as we've come here, it's usually to investigate the fact that there are some Carta that are now kind of taking it over and are using it in some way.
And you have to sort of the door is locked initially, so you have to try and find a key and
there's I believe there's 3 different ways you can get in there.
Oh really? I only thought there was one.
Yeah,
so there you go.
There's one for exploration early. There's a plot event that can also take you in there or take you back there, possibly.
Yes.
And if you've cleared it out, that's significantly easier.
And I love how multi-level this dungeon is.
Yes.
It's
cool. A nice, huge vertical space, wide open. You see that poor Paragon's lost an arm.
Yeah. I just want to double check that I'm playing on... Okay, so I'm definitely playing on normal. Okay. So, I happen to know that there is a dwarf here. So but what I could have done is bring up my tactical cam and scout it ahead.
Instead of being slightly prescient.
Yeah, So you can see, so tactical cam, obviously, it's back on all the platforms. It's really bringing in that sense of that you had with Dragon Age Origins.
You've got ground rings.
Ground rings. And when we first got ground rings in, remember that? It was like...
everyone started cheering.
Oh my god, ground rings!
Yeah, I remember that it was during the E3 review. We were getting ready, and we were like, "Okay, we're going to showcase TACAM nice and early." And the first time ground rings came out, the whole room burst into applause. It was like, "Yeah!"
So here you can do like basic attacks. You can swap between the characters here. Tell them to give.
And in fact, if you do multiple characters with attacking, you'll see that the target kind of queues up, and you can see who else is going to be doing basic attacks on him. Just press A on one of them. And there, you'll see Vivian's been added as well. So you can kind of tell who's going to be targeting each individual character as you sweep around.
Exactly. And then what I can do is, at least on the controller, is hold down the trigger and it starts timing and you can see everything play out.
Yeah. On PC, that's a remappable key.
Exactly.
So,
that's right.
You can be playing the whole combat in this mode. You can toggle between the modes.
Yeah.
Of course, you can get some pretty wicked screenshots.
This is really cool.
Like, this guy's like, I wish you were here because look at me.
Yeah,
determined.
exactly.
So determined.
The model guy,
yeah.
So this is really cool. What we've found is that the players, the more people get their hands on these, this tactical cam and real time, as they swap between the two quite fluidly, which I think is really neat. It's a great byproduct of creating this new system that allows us to move time forward.
Shame he's dead. That needed a shield bash.
Yeah.
So
can you fall off those ledges?
Yeah, worth noting. You can. I could. As a player, if you fall off, you will reset and come back up. If you send an NPC sailing off those ledges, then they will be able to. They will die. They will die absolutely horribly, and it's immensely satisfying.
It is.
Cassandra, in particular, has a couple moves that are very, very good for sending guys flying with the shield, doing bashes.
So I'm just going to run around for a little bit, Mike, and
Is the quest window always open in the top right there?
It can be. It's contextual.
Up to you, yeah.
Yeah. If you don't have a quest tracked, then it will turn off. You can also turn it to be off all the time, on all the time. Up to you how you all built into the
That's
options
right,
menu.
and it's the same with things like damage floaters. You know, you've seen some damage floaters coming up there. I've changed my config to only have damage floaters for my controlled character.
You can do the whole party.
You can do the whole party. You
Yeah.
can do, I think, none as well.
Yeah, you can say none. I don't want any damage for this.
That's right.
So we had a guy come down around here. Now, another thing worth noting, the armor that Cameron is wearing on his main character, we'll take a look at in a sec, is the one of the suits you get if you pre-order.
That's right. Yeah.
Now, we did
You get
some
some-
cool stuff this time around. In fact, coming up very soon, we're going to dig in on crafting and customization. I'm actually just looking at a QA. You guys have sent in some questions. How does that work? Walk us through it. So I've written up an intro. But here's one of the things that's very neat, is that armor has a pattern that determines its appearance. But
Yeah.
once you have it, you're going to get a starter set of armor if you pre-order the game. You're also going to get the schematic for that armor. Meaning that you could be building that armor out of dragon scale, out of the best materials in the game. If you really like the look, you can actually invest some time into crafting and make that armor out of like top tier stuff.
That's right.
In fact, you can do that with almost every armor in the game. You can find a schematic for it, or buy it, or recover it from some ancient tag, and once you have it, you can then use the Inquisition attachment to build it.
Yep. Thank God you're here because I can't talk and drive.
Yeah, no, I think it's probably good. There's two of
I'd
us.
end up with like game face.
with you just
cheese.
There is cheese. There's cheese and sausage links. We've really broadened out our food in the dungeon spectrum.
Are there any sort of basic needs? Do you need to eat or sleep?
No, we haven't gone big on eating or sleeping. What slightly pushes into that territory though is the change we've made. The change we've made to health.
That's right. Let's talk about health because we're going through a dungeon now and it's sort of slowly coming down as we get into more.
So, in fact, pull your left trigger. Just bring that. Now you notice Cassandra, the Inquisitor, and Vivienne are slightly hurt. You can see their health bar is depleted. That's the result. Health doesn't come back instantly after combat anymore. It can be restored via potions. In fact, if we pull up the tactical wheel, we can. Yeah, there you go. Nope.
Oh, that
one. Yeah. So you have a stack of potions. You can also carry additional potions on a per character basis regeneration. There's a grenade you can throw to heal your party as well. But ultimately, you'll notice it's 8 of 8. That's a limited resource. You don't have an unlimited number of potions available. Meaning that you have to play a little more strategically. Think long term, not just win this fight, but like how am I going to survive fight after fight after fight. And Cam's playing a normal, so it's not gonna crush him.
No.
But he is able to go through those encounters, and even then he's taking a bit of damage. One element that's worth noting.
I'm also picking up some crafting material here as well. So Darkstone, this is a great area for Darkstone, and each material's
Drakestone.
Oh, it's a Drake, sorry.
Yeah.
Each I can't read.
Yeah.
Each type of crafting material has different stats. Just pause that for a sec. So I don't know what this one has, but like it might be like +2 to magic and or defense, and that will change depending on what slot you inserted into the schematic of the equipment that you want to craft.
Yep, absolutely. So if you use higher tier metals, your armor base value will be higher, and then each schematic, especially as they level up, they have a lot more utility slots and defense slots, and depending on I'm going to use this leather and this metal, you'll come away with different stats. But anyway, to talk through damage, one of the mechanics we use is to kind of get away from the idea of the heal spam mage. That's the heal. Is that instead the whole party kind of works together. Oh, you sir have that is Blink.
That is Blink.
And you've zoomed off of the slide. So it lets you move very quickly through combat. Great for evading dragon fire and such. So as a party, you can have your mages set up barrier. You'll notice the Inquisitor right now has that swirling blue around him and a bar overlaid. That barrier will eat damage, so it prevents it. Warriors can build up something called guard. If you challenge a foe, if you taunt a foe, if you shield block or parry, there are many ways warriors can build up their guard stat. And guard, which you'll see again on the Inquisitor and Cast now, are those silver bars. And they act like an ablative health. So in a lot of ways, the warrior is as responsible for healing themselves,
Yes.
almost as a preventative measure.
Yeah.
It really changes the gameplay dynamic. It means you don't have heal spam. It means your mages can be a lot more focused on crowd control, and your warriors can be a lot more focused on protecting themselves.
That's right. Now there is a revive kind of
Absolutely.
a spell, right? Like at the end of the spirit tree.
So there's a revive spell which allows you to get someone up at range. You can also, if you're willing to spend the time, run someone over and press A or hold A or interact by right-clicking, so that you can get any character back up during combat. It's slow, whereas the spell is like he's up and suddenly healed. You can even invest in some really high-end alchemy and get a potion, like a throwable grenade that can revive people from unconscious states.
Now,
Does the pre-order content give any inherent advantage to players?
Oh, that's so pre-order basically changes your variety visually. You have this sword available. You have new armor available, and at the very beginning, you're granted weaponry that kind of matches the starting class you pick. So if you pick an archer, you will have a bow delivered to you and a suit of light or medium armor. But in terms of like long-term advantage, not really. It just gives you yet another avenue for customization.
It does. Now this is the Carter leader, so this is
We're into a tough rank
someone
here for sure.
Inquisitor pulled that guy over.
Yep. So the Inquisitor, being two-hander, is very good at single targets. He's also good in a mix. You can actually build him one of two ways. Two-hand tanking is possible.
Yep. You can see the low health. So you can see when they sort of flash low health, and then one of them's drinking a potion to pull up. Quickly putting the barrier there as well.
Yep.
So it's definitely this is definitely tough to fight for my level. So these guys are level 8. I'm level 7. Those guys are brutal.
A fight like this, you can be really well served. There's a couple of different strategies Cam can use. If you can keep the guys clustered, which you can do with Break Cry with Cassandra, then that's really good on potions as well. So this fight's getting nasty. If you can get them clustered, you can throw out the Caltrops in with Barrack.
Yep.
You can use your two-hander behind him. Being behind a guy naturally gets you a bonus for your chance to crit. Oh, that was actually a skull detonator. That guy was electrified and you hit him with a multi. That's why he died in that cataclysm of lightning. Oh, and we've lost Cass. Tank down.
But we did win.
We did win.
So come up, but now, I mean, what have we got? Like 2 potions left.
Yeah.
And I'm barely scratching the surface of this dungeon. So this is another cool thing. So what I'm doing here is I'm hitting one of the sticks, and that's sort of highlighting some of the interactables in the world. So loot, things like that. It's kind of like, was it shift in the past?
Actually, a couple things. It would be tab,
tab
for the traditional.
Right, yeah.
And in fact, you can again map it anywhere you want on PC.
Yeah.
One thing that came up there, you notice the power notifier
Yes,
came
we
up
should
as
talk
well
about that,
as
yeah.
Inquisition perks.
Yeah.
So power, for those who've been following along, is how you grow the Inquisition. Think of the Inquisition as a character, and power is like its XP.
Yep.
Actually, no, power is more like its gold, and then influence is its XP. When you have power, it basically is a currency you can spend to progress the story, to open up new areas to explore, to pursue new objectives. There's a couple of pieces of content that are kind of hidden away behind those.
Yep.
There's even mid-level areas where you can identify, like, oh, this bridge has been shattered in the fighting. I plant my banner, go back to my war table, and spend power to open that.
And that's really, and then when you come back there, then it's
oh
completely
yes,
built.
not only repaired,
like,
but now your flag is flying on it.
Yeah,
which
one of the
feels
cool things in Hinterlands, a guy asked you to build guard towers to protect a village.
Absolutely.
Finding those spots and then coming back and having those built with your power.
Yeah.
Inquisition power.
With guys saluting you, Inquisitor.
Cool,
yeah, it's very satisfying.
It is.
We had kind of an idea we had, which is, what if you could make your mark on the world and have more of an impact? So anyway, in gaining power, you can gain it by questing, you can gain it by pursuing objectives, mapping an area. There's any number of ways to get power, and there's more of it than you absolutely need to complete the game.
Yep.
Meaning that you may have a very different experience from your friend and say, I didn't even go to that particular desert. So that's a locked door, so you need a road to open that. We also, I don't know if we went through it, but there was I saw a wall that you could knock down if you had a warrior.
There was, yeah. There's different sort of barrier types in the game. Like there's some really interesting magic barriers as well that the mages are really useful for, obviously. And then locked doors are the equivalent for a rogue, right? But we wanted something for everyone, regardless of the character, and try and give you some
friendly fire, and can you cast abilities and spells out of combat?
Yes and yes.
Yes and yes, actually. So friendly fire is separate mode in the game, so it's not tied to difficulty. It's basically just an option you toggle on.
Yep.
One word of warning is that the AI can get a little punchy when it comes to friendly fire, so you may want to turn off, hey, fireball when I see a cluster of guys.
Yeah.
That said, for players that are going to play very tactically and kind of micromanage their party, friendly fire can be an amazing challenge, and it's really just a challenge add.
Yeah.
What was the other one there, Kamal?
And can you cast an ability out of combat?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
In fact, unlike previous days, you have free attack, free cast. You can barrier your party.
There's me doing it.
Yeah. And in fact, so philosophically, we wanted to make sure that you could prepare
That's
for
right.
combat.
Yep.
So while barrier will burn down over time, so you can't cast it and then run around forever. Things like being able to lay down traps, things like being able to enter stealth, all those things.
Yeah.
We wanted to make sure that there was never a situation where you really wanted to do it, but you had to get close enough to aggro guys.
Exactly. Like if I was actually an intelligent person, what I would have done in that tougher fight was prepare. So I would have cast barrier before I went in through the door. I would have laid down some traps at the front of the door.
Yeah, caltrops
aggroed
in the
the guys,
door.
brought them back in the door, had my warrior, probably Cassandra because she's spec'd as a tank, hold that position at the door, and then start to AoE in. But I'm not intelligent, so I didn't do it.
So yeah, charge right on in.
That's right. So this is a cool piece. So there's lots of different collectibles in the game. That one in particular is really cool because you can take it back to Skyhold and you start to form this picture and have people sort of investigate what this mosaic collection is starting to tell us the story of that mosaic. And there's a variety of things like that. So I was trying to find some Darkspawn bowstrings in some of these guys I've been killing because you can take those back and they're part of the creature research that you can do as well in your library.
Darkspawn are down further.
I'm going to get my butt kicked.
Yeah,
I've got no health and there's a tough.
Oh, you'll be fine.
And if your characters fall in battle, are there lasting injuries from that?
We've gone away from lasting injuries because there's an elf.
Yeah,
because of the permanent health damage. Injuries was a system we had in DAO and DA2 where it permanently damaged you. But entering into combat at 10% health or 25% health, it scales based on difficulty. Seemed penalizing enough.
I'm so gonna die. Why do you make me die, Mike?
Well, because it gives you a chance to get.
Because I remember.
It gives you a chance to breathe, to feel truly at ease. Oh, he's about to go berserk. Bam! Yeah.
You know what?
Yep. Now,
Barrick's going to run away and leave Vivian down there.
So notably,
all right, now I'm going to go.
You know, here's the thing: is you could see when he lifted his maul over his head.
Yeah.
I was able to call what he was going to do.
Yeah.
As you play through the game, creatures have habits and behaviors, and you can start to learn what they're going to do, so that you can start to anticipate.
Yes.
If you've been playing tactically, you could have used your pause and play and attack him and actually pulled everybody back from him, and he actually would have just stood there kind of flailing because once they go berserk, they go berserk.
Yeah.
You could have interrupted him using a shield bash, payback strike, something like that, or a stone fist.
Yep.
Or, final option, you could have just soaked it with your tank.
I could have.
You could have done that as well.
Yes, shield wall obviously is very useful for that.
Yeah.
So I just died. What we might do is we might take some Q&A.
Sure.
But while we do that, I'm going to just load into Hinterlands.
Okay.
Because we've seen that before, and but I'll just run around and
have something prettier on the screen than us.
Yeah.
Monday morning, or
yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay, so hit us with questions, guys.
Yep.
So if the combat's too tough, can you run away for a while?
You can. You
yeah.
can disengage from virtually any combat.
Like a coward.
Yeah. And what it will do, if your characters are unconscious, it will pull them behind you. They get back up, sorely wounded.
Yes, often using their limited health potions, of course. So there's definitely a cost to doing it.
Yeah, but yes, in a lot of ways, we want you to be able to scout an encounter as well.
Yep. Sending
Sending someone stealth in, kind of target locking them and going, oh, that guy's level 12. I should not be here. Or, hey, I'm going to give it a try. Lets you kind of engage with the content up to the difficulty you want.
That's right. More questions?
They're hoping to see some tactical cam combat once we get into it.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Some tactical cam combat?
Yeah. Yeah, this has been a request you guys have had for quite a while. So first off, to defeat the mighty Fennec.
Yes. And his friend.
and his friend, the August Ram, yes.
Yes.
That's not an August Ram, that's a normal Ram. I'm sorry. I apologize to Ram.
Do you know that you can chain shot these guys?
Yeah,
I understand it the other day. I was chain shotting
Absolutely.
nugs and pulling them towards me. I love killing nugs.
So in this case, you're kind of a bad man.
I am.
Right now, there's a Tumblr page being made.
Exactly.
Okay, basics. Obviously, I'm going to use a long shot and a winter's grasp to pin it in place. You see the ice go off, and then long shot has a long draw to be able to fire. At any point, and of course this is the least challenging encounter in the game.
Yes.
But starting time, stopping time, and there's long shot hit, so there's nothing left of our
Yeah.
horde here.
Let's go find some guys like
some real challenges.
some actual enemies.
Absolutely.
Are the deluxe edition items tied to just a single playthrough?
No, any item that you're receiving via like a DLC or like a pre-order bonus or whatever would start every time you started a new game.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't want them to be
So
consumed.
are they Templars?
So these guys here, in fact, we can lock onto them and get an idea. So here we have part of the Templar fight that's happening. So these guys present a much more interesting challenge than a singular fox. Here we have an archer. Glowing arrow indicates he's about to do a special move. So there, what I'd want to do is shut him down, ideally with a Winter's Grasp. This guy presents a really interesting challenge in that
Big shield there to deflect
he
spells
will
and arrows.
spells and any range attack is basically going to bounce right off him.
Oh, there's another one
Also,
there.
notable while I'm scouting, this guy's hiding over here. This isn't my build, so I'll have to take a look. But what we're going to try and do... Oops, I accidentally moved Vivian. Apologies.
Winter's Grasp.
Winter's Grass.
Or her.
That tree was in my way. What I want to do is move Cassandra over here so that I can then challenge to
And
turn him.
turn it around, yeah,
Leaving him
exactly.
exposed to
Yeah.
Varric, who's going to set him up as a base target once he's turned. Right now, if I use Varric on him, literally...
Do you want to
nothing
tell
would happen.
Varric then to hold position?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we want to keep our range character back. We can move into a position. You'll notice here he's now going to hold. That means he won't move from that position. If it's a melee character, an enemy will come in within essentially this glowing radius, and that's where they'll attack.
Yep.
Now, can
And
we
with our-
adjust the difficulty mid-game?
You can,
Yep.
absolutely. There are, fair warning, there are achievements for difficulty, and it's essentially a high watermark. So
Yes.
if you drop the difficulty down from Nightmare to Hard, you're going to only be able to get the achievement for Hard. That said, difficulty achievements are, they're
Cool.
for a special class of player.
Yes. That's right.
And are runes coming back, and are there legendary items of any kind?
Yes,
Yes.
and yes. Yes,
Runes are
absolutely.
really cool. So enchantment, absolutely there. There's runes.
In
there's
fact-
a
in
whole bunch of
fact-
different customization over the weapons.
Yeah,
you
I'll have
need
to get out
to-
of combat,
yeah.
but I'll be able to show you this guy's sword is flaming because it has a rune.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So we've taken down that archer. Now with Cass, what
Let's
we want to do
challenge.
is we want to turn him. So challenge is a single target taunt. It'll cause him to be like, oh hey, I don't care about this Inquisitor guy. And you notice here, obviously, with the trees, this is a little more challenging location, but you have complete control over the camera, so you can always get into a good position for the fight. Now that he's turned, we have to make sure... Where's this archer? He's still holding position over there.
Yeah.
So we're going to get him turned. We're going to want... Varric should turn in about this time. I'm wishing I had a lightning spell right now, but it looks like I'm out of mana for it.
Yeah.
So Vivienne will continue to attack until we get that running.
Can you tell us a bit about how levels work, and is there a level cap, and do your enemies scale with you in that?
So enemies don't scale to your level.
Electricity
right? So-
vulnerability says lightning.
Yes. So as you explore the world, there's many different areas with a lot of variety in these massive exploration areas.
Bang.
The enemies in that will be of a variety of levels. So there's sort of like some challenging areas of even the hinterlands, even though this is the first area that you get into in the game. But yeah, the enemies in these areas don't auto-scale to your level. The main plots are a little bit different.
Right.
Yeah.
The plots have a scale within a range, and
right.
when you access them, again via the war table, you start them like a big operation. They'll say recommended level, say 11 to 14 or something along those lines. Now this guy, I think, may be withdrawing right now. There we go. By sitting him down on his back as well, we've made it... Oh, he's burning and shocked, so he's actually taking damage over
So
time.
can you hit him with a mighty blow?
Let's see if I have it available. Oh,
Yeah.
hey, I do. So shocked, I can detonate.
Yeah.
It's like a cross-class combat. So we'll let the mighty blow go off. Oh, it's wide open.
Yeah.
There we go. No longer shocked. Took the big damage from that. Still on fire. Perfect.
So you want to say something about this
Are you
one?
able to show us a little bit of crafting and how that works, and maybe the inventory system?
We can show some
I
inventory
can,
stuff. But
I can show a bit
probably
of
not.
stuff around potions. That's
Potions,
probably
yeah.
that we can do
Okay.
pretty easily.
Well, I mean, the base camp was further back, and you can just travel to it, I
Yeah,
guess.
we can quick travel to it. That's part of that. So archers have a behavior. You'll just notice he just executed where when they're under threat,
They'll
they
move
will
back,
try to
yeah.
fall back.
Yeah, and it's interesting because they'll try and fall back behind some of those guys
Yeah.
with big shields too.
Yeah, yes, they will, absolutely. Now,
Yeah,
what he
they're
can't
right.
fall back from is being sat down. Nobody's fallen back from that. We'll do another challenge. You'll notice when I do a challenge and it executes that Cassandra is going to build up guard as part of that. Taunting and other activities are kind
So
of
that guard, that
focused.
was that little silver thing that
Yeah,
went over there.
that's exactly it. So that's some more health for her ablative.
Yeah.
And hey,
There's a little quest there, and there's some logging stuff there too.
These renegades sully the name of the
All
temple.
right, so we've got a ton of questions. I think
All
we'll
right.
move into Q&A.
I will go look at crafting and we can keep answering questions
Yep.
here.
Okay.
Logging stands
Sure.
are part of the crafting system, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead, ask away.
Okay, so how easy is the easiest setting?
The casual setting.
It's designed to be pretty,
Yeah, it's pretty
easy,
easy,
actually.
yeah.
So you still have to be engaged in the combat, but our goal is to make sure that you really only need to focus on one character. You don't need to be constantly swapping
That's
and
right.
switching. Instead, you want to be able to have an experience, but there will still be some challenge there. It's not like an auto-win combat or anything like that.
Are there any dual-wield warriors?
Dual Wield Warriors that we have already confirmed is not back. I'm well aware it's a very popular request.
Yeah.
And what about a corruption-type plot path where you can be the bad guy?
Certainly, the Inquisitor is not necessarily. Oh, is this the bill where crafting's broken?
Could be.
It may be. This is the bill where crafting's broken.
Let me restart
We
this.
will restart and we will do some lovely touring. So the Inquisitor absolutely can be a bad guy, not the shining paragon. But in terms of hey, can I completely change the plot into one where I've sided with the bad guy? We shied away from that. There comes a point at which the absolutely vast amount of content we need did not need an entirely absolutely vast amount of secondary content.
And will your archers and mages run always whenever they're attacked by melee characters, or will they have some melee of their own?
Archers and mages do not have like a melee attack when they have a bow equipped. They have a number of evade and escape abilities. There's any number of ways they can respond to being attacked.
Yep.
Archers can leap out of combat and fire kind of a knockdown shot. There's sleeping dust you can throw at your foes.
Yep.
We've shown that at E3.
Yep. Some cool combos with that too.
Yeah, all kinds of cool stuff. Back to the Underlands.
Yep.
So, can you talk a little bit about where this falls between the combat that you see in Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2?
Sure. Yeah. Cam, do you want to do high level?
Yeah, I mean, high level, Origins was quite a slow combat system. A lot of tactical cam usage, I guess, in that.
Well, on PC only.
So, yeah, on PC. DA2 certainly was a lot faster, a lot more responsive. DAI, so for Inquisition, what we tried to do is go somewhere in the middle. We wanted to have more weight behind the combat animations and the feel of being in this sort of combat encounter. So you'll see, when you're swinging down around your two-handed sword, it feels a lot heavier. There's a lot more weight behind it, and so that's part of the the change that we made to the real-time combat, and then obviously bringing in tactical camera back with its full suite of abilities, like we had in Origins, lets you sort of chop and change between the two as much as you want.
Exactly. And I think in a lot of ways the ability choices range from a little more active to a little more tactical.
Yes.
A lot of preparatory abilities that disappeared for DA2 are back. Again, traps, throwing out caltrops, glyphs, mines, putting up
Absolutely.
walls of ice to block archers.
That's right.
All those things are very tactical. In fact, they're things that you couldn't do. You couldn't really block pathing and that kind of stuff in Origins.
No, and I think that's actually something worth talking about because the environment does play a part in combat far more than the previous game. So you can find, even when you're exploring an area, you might find a little valley. So if you can get you guys up to the top each side, and you put your warrior down the middle or create some ice, then you can trap people in a spot. If you have a warrior defending a particular area, you've got rock walls on each side. Maybe you have a mage cast a wall of ice behind them as they come in, and now they're locked into a kill box while your range classes are up top. So, yeah, you're just following the E3.
I am following you.
So yeah, I mean, environment does play a lot more of a part in this than either of the two games.
And if we kill enemies in an area, do they come back? Do they repopulate?
Enemies do. What the game does is it constantly tracks what you've been doing recently. So we've talked about this before. If you go hunting rams for meat or something like that, or you're trying to get leather for a
I want to go to a really cool, beautiful
absolutely.
spot. It's going to take a while.
What will happen is that the population will start to dwindle until eventually you're left with none in the area, none respawning. Over time, that population will grow back up again.
Yeah.
Enemies like the High Dragons do not respawn. They're permanent kills essentially made the area safe. That does result in power for the Inquisition because everybody's like a big fan of you as a result. And there are some encounters that will not respawn because they're kind of tied to the story or they're specific. But if you're in an area that's basically a bandit stronghold, you can expect to find bandits there in general.
Okay, I'm going to try and skip some of this.
How content dense is the open world?
Pretty dense. There's a lot of different encounters for you to have. A lot of side quests for you to pursue. And every area has its own theme. That's something we've talked about. When you first arrive in the Hinterlands, it's made very clear that the Mage Templar conflict is one of the main things happening here. But in addition to that, there's smugglers, there's Carta operation, there's the dragon, there's stuff happening up at Redcliffe tied to the main story. All these things are part of the kind of the tapestry that the space wields.
How does health regenerate on easy difficulty?
On easy, you recover more health when you are downed or as part of an end of combat event, but it doesn't come back to full.
And how will we know how our companion relationships are going? Is there any kind of thing that tells us how much they like us?
We don't have a bar or a numbers system. Because we wanted to get away from it feeling too gamey. Instead, we've baked that into the character themselves. The way they greet you, the way they interact with you, whether or not they've had new content for you to pursue, is all an indication of how things have been going in terms of your relationships.
There's a bear fighting something.
It's I think it's raider. You can lock onto him. It's probably a bandit, given where you are. Oh, bear.
I
think the bear's going to win.
The bear's probably going to win. I saw some bears fighting some wolves the other day. There was like 2 bears and like 4 wolves. I'm like, yeah, good luck, wolves.
Yeah, good luck, wolves. Yeah,
right,
4 wolves hit pretty hard.
We're going to take a couple final questions.
Yep. Okay.
Sorry,
actually, let me finish the one thing. So the one other big thing is on a per line basis, if a character approves or disapproves, you will be notified of that. In fact, you'll be able to see they slightly approve or greatly approve. So you can track how your standing with them has been through that. But we wanted to get away from like plus 10. It felt too gamey. It didn't feel very natural in the interaction.
I'm being chased. Okay.
You, sir, have met some bandits.
And they brought the bears.
And the bear came. Well, that's fine.
Can we change what our companions are wearing?
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, complete control over the equipment of your companion characters. So it's armor, the
hats.
Weapons, hats,
the
whole thing. So it'll still try and keep a relative feel for that character. Without completely changing, so you don't want to have, say, Cassandra walk around in this big, clunky, like a round suit of armor.
Yeah.
You still want her to look like Cassandra, but it definitely does change her look substantially.
Yeah. Though it is notable, there are some classes of armor, like if you get Templar armor and put it on Cassandra, it will look like Templar armor.
Yes.
So there are some that are kind of like almost heraldry armor is a way to think of them.
And is it just turn-based combat, or is there active combat?
This is what we're looking at right now. This is all played in real time.
Yep.
Yeah. So you can play turn-based if you go tactical, but in real time you can absolutely issue your orders and proceed from there. And of course, the co-op mode and multiplayer is played all in real time. There is no tactical camera for that.
Come back.
Oh, you may have to use a bow
yes.
to hunt, sir.
So yeah, I mean, killing these little creatures, that can give you crafting materials as well, like furs and leathers and stuff like that. So.
And a hollowness inside.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and
who needs a bow when you've got a... Anyway, sorry.
And after Cameron has killed the poor innocent woodland creatures, I think we'll end on that note.
Yeah, I think so. Well, hopefully this has been, you guys have seen some interesting stuff today. The character creator we know is near and dear to everyone's heart, so it's been good to be able to show that off.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. Really appreciate it. My understanding is, I think this will be archived, Connell.
I believe this is archived.
Yeah. So we're gonna have this available, so you can tell your friends if they want to take a look. Listen to Cameron and I ramble for a while.
Yes.
Here's something we'd love is some feedback on this. If you guys enjoyed this, you want us to do some more Twitch streams. Hey, we're pretty open to it.
Yep.
It's been fun, and actually we've done the setup now.
Yes.
So if you want to look at Cam's office, here we go.
Yeah.
And on top of that as well, if you have any questions, further stuff on what you've seen, you can find us on Twitter. You can find that kind of stuff.
Yep.
We'll try and answer them to the best of our abilities.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks for checking us out.
Tell me, where is your maker now? Call him. Call down his wrath upon me. You cannot, for he does not exist.
They are under the command of the Venatori, in service to something called the Elder One.
The Templars come to kill you.
If we are to withstand this monster, we must control the battle.
More pain this time. The Elder One still comes.
You are a mistake. You should never have existed.
Inquisition! With the Herald! For your lives! For all of us!
It ends here. Bow before your new god and be spared.